Are you curious what major things you should look out for when you are doing a home inspection, when you are purchasing a home? Tune in to find out. Hi, Jenica Williams here with Keller Williams Realty, and we're going to talk about major things that you need to look out for when doing a home inspection. As you all know, when you purchase a home, nothing's perfect. Even a brand new home has some things wrong with it typically. So when you're going through a home inspection, it's important that you have a realtor there guiding you. And I just wanted to go over some of the major things you should look for. And keep in mind, everything's fixable with the right amount of money. So the first thing is mold. So mold in California, there's no standard for mold in California. It's not something that an inspector typically tests for unless they see a spot. We personally have dealt with mold on a property that we purchased, and the spot of mold was like this big and costing, I think back then, maybe $6,000 to $8,000 to remediate. Usually with mold, they have to bring in scrubbers and have hazmat suits to take out the mold and different things. So that is something to be looking for. The home inspector that we work with, if they see a spot of mold, they'll definitely point that out. They can even test it for you. And so that's the first thing. Next is water damage. So our home inspector does use a camera and a moisture meter to check and see if they think there might be water inside of a wall, and so it'll tell you the percentage of how much water is in a wall. We just went through a home inspection, and he said the typical amount of water in a wall, because there is some moisture, I guess, typically in walls, is about 20%. In this specific wall, it was like over 80%, so water was definitely getting in there. Water issues, depending on how severe they are, sometimes with stuff like that, you don't know until you open the wall, like where is the water coming from, what is the issue, because you don't always just want to treat the symptom, like, okay, let's rip out the sheetrock and replace it, but where is the water coming from? So you really want to get to the root of the issue with water damage. And then foundation issues. So that's something where if the foundation's cracked or its floors are not even, those are things to look for. And an inspector will typically tell you like, hey, it looks like there might be an issue with this foundation crack or this sloping. And then that's when we would bring in an expert to look at it further. Did run into a foundation issue a couple of years ago. And the house itself, you would never know that there was anything wrong. The seller had no idea that there was a foundation issue. There was a crack. And when the home inspector found that, we were representing the seller. We got bids, and it was somewhere around $30,000, $20,000 to $30,000 to remediate that. So that is a bigger deal, obviously. And sometimes owners don't have any idea that that will be going on. So it's important that those main issues get figured out. Again, it's all fixable, but just things to know about. And then lastly is like rat infestations. We did have a property that our clients were in escrow to buy, and rodents had chewed up a lot of the insulation. They had like gone to the bathroom on the insulation. And so really it needed to all be torn out and redone. So that can be a really costly project. And so again, sometimes the sellers are willing to fix the items, sometimes they're not. But what I like to tell our buyer clients is any buyer is going to have issues with some of these bigger items. So a foundation issue, rat infestation where they've damaged all the ducting and things like that, and insulation, and then water damage and mold. So if it's concerning to you as a buyer and you're in escrow to purchase a home, it's probably also concerning to the next buyer. And so it really behooves the seller, especially in this market, to fix the item or give a credit for that. And so those are some things that you want to look out for when you have a home inspection done. We accompany all of our buyers on the home inspection tour towards the end when the inspector walks you around, and our inspector is great. So always important, never skip the home inspection process. Now, don't ever not get one. Even if a seller has gotten one on their own, it's really important that you as a buyer still get your own inspection, because what you may not know is that that inspection that the seller has done was on behalf of the seller. So if they got one done before they listed the home, so if you say, oh, it's fine, I don't need to get my own inspections, if something else comes up down the road that, let's say, their inspector missed, the inspector has no liability because it wasn't done for the benefit of you, it was done for the benefit of the seller. So we always encourage our clients to get your own inspections done, even if the seller has done some pre-listing inspections. Hope this was helpful. Take care.